to Srinivasacharya. So that's where we are now. We are now in Madhura Mandala with Srila Raghava Goswami, and along with him, Srila Raghava Goswami is giving a tour to Sri Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivasacharya. And we are in that tour now. To 8th page. So far we have discussed about this, about Madhura Mandala, how Madhura Mandala is spread over 20 yojanas, and how Dharmartha Kama is automatically obtained in Madhura Mandala, even though somebody does not worship the Dhamma. Like Harinama, Dhamma also gives Dharmartha Kama, even with Aparada. And how even the insects and animals, everybody can just attain liberation by leaving the body, like Nama Bhasa giving liberation, Dhamma Bhasa also can give liberation. But for somebody to actually worship Dhamma in the words, thoughts, and deeds, then they have to know the ways of worship from Ashuddha Bhakta, and that's how they can get the devotion to Lord Krishna past Dharmartha Kama Moksha. So that's what we have covered so far, and also the boundaries. And also the boundaries. Here are the boundaries, right? Yeah. 40 yojanas. Then it comes to 20 yojanas. And in 12 yojanas, all the places of worship, pastimes are present. And the boundary of Madhura Mandala extends from Yayavara to Shaukari-Vateshwara. So Yayavara was the name of a Brahmana, and Shaukari, the name comes from Varaha Rupa, Adi Shokara Rupa. So those are the boundaries of Madhura Mandala. And one thing is Madhura Vana, forest, has small subdivisions, sub-forests, 12 forests. Dvadashavanas, 12 forests. These 12 forests together is Madhura Mandala. 24 kroshas, Madhura Mandala extends throughout 24 kroshas and is decorated with Dvadashavanas. So this Madhura Mandala consists of 12 forests of Vrindavan. 12 forests, and Vrindavan is one among them. And we will know the details now. So somebody can please go ahead, start from the Adivaraha Purana. Or I can just read the first paragraph. Again from the Adivaraha Purana comes, O mind, why do you lament after seeing Harideva, the worshipable Lord of Mahadeva, the deity of deities, who is seated on the western petal of this lotus? If anyone gets the darshan of Govinda Deva, seated on the northern petal, he will not fall again into the material world up to the time of the universal devastation. Lord Vrishranti is situated on the eastern petal. By seeing him, one is liberated from this miserable world. Of this, there is no doubt. On the southern petal, Sri Varahadeva is situated. By his mercy, man achieves all perfection. By seeing him, one becomes worshipable on Brahmaloka. Also, after controlling his senses and taking bath at Madhura, one who has darshan of Keshava Deva, on the 12th day of the waxing moon in the month of Jyeshta will obtain the supreme destination. Hey Vasundare, when I lie down, all the holy places, oceans, and kundas of the world come to Mathura. In the same way, the Puranas state that Janmashtami in the month of Bhadra is also most glorious. So this is all from Adivaraha Purana. Okay. And somebody from Skanda Purana, please.
The Skanda Purana states, originally, Mathurapuri was the forest of the demon Madhu, who was slain by the Almighty Sri Hari. O King, nothing is impossible within this Madhuvana of Sri Hari. I am not capable of naming all the holy places situated here.
Yes.
Explaining the glories of Mathura through these references from the Puranas, Raghava Pandita was overwhelmed by jubilation and could not remain patient. After finishing the required morning duties, Raghava Pandita with Srinivasa Acharya and Narottama began their tour of Mathura. They went first to the house of the Sanoshiya Brahmana, where Sri Krishna Chaitanya used to beg alms. The Brahmana was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri Goswami and had witnessed Lord Chaitanya's transcendental pastimes. Sri Raghava Pandita said to Srinivasa, Gaurachandra used to dance here in ecstasy. Many people came to see his dancing and they all became intoxicated by Sri Nama Sankirtana. They cried as they realized Mahaprabhu was Rajendra Nandana himself. They would not leave his association for even a moment and swam in an ocean of love. Those were the wonderful pastimes of Mahaprabhu here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. We'll pause here because now is the entry of Srimad Mahaprabhu. So here, Sri Raghava Pandita, he has glorified Mathura Mandala from all the Puranas, the Shastras. And when these devotees, when these pure devotees, when they say something, this just doesn't come from a superficial level. The truth exists at 4 levels. One is Vaikhari, just speaking, not thinking is Vaikhari. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm saying. And the second level of realization of the truth is Manasika. And third one is Pashyanti. Fourth one is Para. So when these pure devotees, they are all actually situated in the 4th level of consciousness. 3rd and 4th, Pashyanti, Para. So when they are saying something, they are actually very much absorbed in what they are saying. So their words, along with their words, is their experience, their realization. So that's why Raghava Pandita was overwhelmed by jubilation and could not remain patient. We hear this kind of description in all these Acharya Charitas and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. They start glorifying and something happens to them. They start singing, they start chanting, they fall unconscious. And we think, oh, this is such a common occurrence. And the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, especially when we see them, such a common occurrence. But we don't realize that such a common occurrence there with those pure devotees, that is what we are praying and hoping for. That kind of realization, not just that is at the level of Vachika, not just at the level of the mind, but at the level of Pashyanti at least. So when they are taking a tour, when they are taking a parikrama, they are not just walking and superficially seeing something, but they are experiencing something. So on that note, with these acharyas, we are starting the Dham Parikrama now. The first one here is, this is the house of Sanoshya Brahmana. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavana, he stayed at his place. Gaurasundara, Gaurachandra came there. And when Lord Krishna, he came to Vrindavan in the mood of Radharani. So Lord Krishna in the mood of Radharani is Gaurasundara. And he came from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan Dham. So when Gaurachandra came there, and when he starts singing and dancing, it is not possible for anybody not to remain intoxicated. That we have to understand. So they cried as they realized Mahaprabhu was Brajendra Nandana himself. So please notice when the kirtan is going on, look at the realization that is going on here. They are not just saying the words. They are having an experience here. And here in this case, realizing that that's a very same Lord, Brajendra Nandana, who came here in Kali Yuga as Gaurasundara, has come to the Dham again, and he is glorifying himself. So with that bhava, all of them, they swam in an ocean of love. All that we try to do so much every day, 2 hours of japa, so many days, so many weeks, so many months and years of japa, to get a drop of that experience and realization of what it means to be with the holy name, being with the holy name, just to get a droplet of that, all our days are passing by. And here it is, this experience is a common occurrence to all the devotees there. The moment they start the kirtan, they are in that realization, they are in that experience. Okay, so that's the place, that's the house of Sanoshya Brahmana. And from here, yes, Mataji, please go ahead, continue. Raghav Pandita.
Raghav Pandita sighed deeply while remembering the pastimes of Gaurachandra, while Narottama and Srinivasa cried in ecstasy. They rolled on the ground as they cried, and their bodies became covered with dust. After a long time, they regained control of themselves.
Thank you,
Raghav,
Mataji.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
thank you, Mataji. Yeah. We are pausing here. So they just had some Kirtana. Gaurachandra is present there. Oh, I'm saying present there. So yeah, for them, Gaurachandra is present there as they're taking the parikrama in that place. As they're speaking about Gaurachandra, Raghav Goswami was speaking about Gaurachandra and the Sankirtan that was happening when Gaurachandra was present. So as they were describing that pastimes, and this transcendental experience, the transcendental matters, they are not limited by physical space, time. Anything physical does not limit this transcendental realm. That's why it didn't take much for them, for Raghav Pandita. He sighed deeply while remembering the pastimes of Gaurachandra. This sighing deeply, remembering the pastimes of Gaurachandra, this is not just superficial fleeting thoughts. This is past the stage of Pratyahara. Pratyahara is a stage in Ashtanga Yoga. Past the Yama and Niyama, past the rules and regulations, preliminary rules and regulations, to at least get to the Sattva Guna, Ashtanga Yoga has Yama and Niyama first. Any spiritual path has Yama and Niyama, whatever religion it might be. Since you're a spiritual seeker, they will have to get to at least Sattva Guna, whatever religion it is. So everybody will have Yama and Niyama. The names may be different. No intoxication, no violence like that. Not just at the gross level. Not violence at just the gross level. No beating, no killing. This is too gross. At the subtle level too, no violence. And subtle level, violence at subtle level means envy. Not being tolerant about other beings. So that is, all these things, they are observed even at the very beginning stages in the Yama and Niyama level. The 4 regulative principles that we hear, there are no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. It's just too gross at physical level only. But we have to understand why they are put in, what kind of transformation they're supposed to bring in us. So we have to understand, starting from the physical level to the most subtle level. By that itself, by just following this Yama Niyama itself, one can be situated at least at the mode of Sattva. And in Sattva itself, there is no envy. What to speak of Bhakti? One of the symptoms in mode of goodness is no envy. No envy and kindness. So if somebody is really following the 4 regulative principles at a deepest level, causing no violence to others, situated in the mode of goodness, Sattva, then they have Maitri with other living entities. Maitri is friendship with other living entities. Not Matsara, not envy, but Maitri. So that's about Yama and Niyama, just at the beginning stage itself. And after that comes Asana. Because for the Ashtanga Yoga, the body has to remain still in particular pose for hundreds of years. So for that, one has to have full control over the body. That's why next stage is Asana, to have control over the body. And next comes Pranayama, to have control over the breath. Because when they sit for hundreds of years, then they just breathe once in few months. So that's complete control of the breath. And all this is because to stay focused on the Paramatma inside. So in this way, the gross disturbances are gone with Yama Niyama. The physical disturbances are gone with the control on the body, Asana. And the need for the prana, the need for the breathing at all times, that is gone by pranayama, by having control over the breath. So with these 4 disturbances minimized, next stage is pratyahara. Pratyahara means mind withdrawing the mind from anything external. Anything and everything external is pratyahara. And why are we doing that? So the mind can be withdrawn from something from everything external and can be focused on the goal inside. That's Paramatma. So that's the start. Pratyahara is the internal start of focus on the Paramatma. Past the Pratyahara is, after the Pratyahara is Dharana. Now that the mind has been withdrawn from everything external, internal focus starts now. That internal focus, start of that internal focus is Dharana. And this is compared to the water. When we pour down the water, the stream of water that comes down with continuity, that is how Dharana is. The concentration is like that. The focus is like that in Dharana. When Dharana gets to Dhyana, it becomes even more focused, even more concentrated and dense. And then that is compared to the flow of Madhu, honey. When the honey is poured down, the stream is different from that stream of water. When the honey is poured down, it is so thick. The stream is thick, dense, and there's almost no break in the stream there, because the honey is dense like that. That is dhyana. So the internal focus gets more condensed and thick like that. After this dhyana comes the samadhi. Samadhi is they are with the object. They are with Paramatma. Like that, these are the stages in Ashtanga Yoga, to be with the Paramatma inside. But Bhakti Yoga is so potent. With the Yama and Niyama, when we are observing whatever rules and regulations are given to us in Bhakti, to come to at least Sattva Guna, then Yama and Niyama, they are already met. Then Asana and Pranayama, that has nothing to do with the Bhakti Yoga. Because Asana and Pranayama in Ashtanga Yoga, they are meant to help with the focus of Paramatma inside. For that goal, Asana and Pranayama are used. But here in Bhakti Yoga, the focus and the thought is Bhagavan himself. And with the surrender, with the submission, it does not take too long. One does not need thousands of years, as it happened in different yugas. So we don't need that long time. So we don't need pranayama and asana to get to be with our object of worship. So, and the next stage is pratyahara, is withdrawing the mind. As we have the faith and attention in the transcendental subject matters, we are already in the stage of pratyahara. When we are discussing transcendental subject matters, there by default, for a serious inquisitive sadhaka, pratyahara happens when we are deeply involved in a subject matter. So that kind of absorption is needed when we are hearing the transcendental subject matters. This is the kind of Shravanam that Srila Sukadeva Goswami speaks in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shrinvanti Gayanti. Anywhere we hear Shrinvanti, this is the kind of Shrinvanti that the Shastra is urging us to be in. Yeah. So, Raghav Pandita, Srila Narottam Das Thakura, Srila Srinivasacharya, they were at that stage. That is the state of consciousness they have. They are always in. So they are doing parikrama in that state of consciousness. Past pratyahara, in the dharana. What happens to somebody, a Shuddha Bhakta, who goes into the stage of dharana? This is what happens. They cry in ecstasy. What happens to them when they go to dhyana stage, they lose control over them. They roll on the ground as they cried. This is dharana. This is dhyana. And we hear so frequently that they fall unconscious, fall unconscious. Why like that? In dharana and dhyana, when they are in dhyana with their object of love, Priti Vishaya, Govinda, it's hard for the mortal body to retain those transcendental experience for a long time. That's why the body gives up. That's why they're unconscious again and again. So anytime we hear this kind of description, this is an opportunity for us. We are in Kali Yuga. We are just sadhakas. We are really hoping and praying that we walk in the footsteps, this worshipable footsteps of these acharyas. What does that mean? Follow their instructions, imbibe their mood. This is what we are trying. What mood are they in? This is very common for them. This kind of past pratyahara dharana is very common for them. This is the level of absorption that our acharyas are lived in. Absorbed in the thoughts of only one Priti Vishaya, that is Govinda. There is only one object of love. Priti Vishaya, that's Govinda. And all of them, they're just absorbed in that object of love. So when they're doing this parikrama and when they are hearing these pastimes about Gaura Chandra, naturally when somebody is in that dharana, dhyana, this is what happens. So please remember, anytime we read these descriptions, this is an opportunity for us. Here in Bhakti Ratnakara or in Chaitanya Charitamrita, whenever these descriptions come, this is an opportunity for us to pray, to be absorbed in the mood of the acharyas. When we have that willingness, then the mood that they carry, with the attention and willingness that we have, the mood they carry, the faith they carry, the consciousness they carry is transferred to us. Proportional to the faith and proportional to the yearning that we have, we are also taken into that realm. Otherwise, what is the purpose of reading this? What is the purpose of being with these acharyas, these transcendental personalities? If it is just the informative sake, then there wouldn't be much change in us. We will just get some information at the end of this 30 minutes. But when we are reading, we want to look for an opportunity to see what that mood is, what that faith is, what that spontaneity is in these acharyas. And when we gear ourselves towards like that, whenever we are reading, when we are being with the acharyas here like this, gradually over a period of time, this also will become a part of our personality. And when this kind of absorption, when this kind of bhava is imbibed from these acharyas, this transcendental emotion, this faith and ruchi that is being imbibed will displace any restlessness or any effect of moods that we have within us. So that's why we are going through this charita of the acharyas. So the point is, whenever there is a description like this, they rolled on the ground as they cried, and their bodies became covered with dust. After a long time, they regained control of themselves. We don't want to dismiss these descriptions as repetitions, as exaggerations. No. We want to take these opportunities again and again as a portal of entry for us to imbibe the mood they have, the faith they have, the purity they have. Yeah, I'm going to pause here. I know we read only Gaurachandra, Advaitacharya. This is all such a nectar. It was just Gaurachandra, Advaitacharya. Yeah, I think